Oh, you're on the other one. You're on ODD. Oh, you're gonna play. Oh, you're on
ODD TV. Payday Monsanto. Let's get it, homie.
Beep beep.
Time to wake up into the seat. All realities made up by the elite.
You with me, CFM?
Yeah. I thought you're playing the other
We're
version.
live.
You're playing there.
Time to wake up to the deceit. All realities made up by the elite.
I hope this is working.
You're playing the original one. Yes, it's good.
They live,
We sleep. The alarm's going off. Beep beep.
Time to wake up to the deceit. Our realities made up by the elite. They live, we sleep. The
alarm's going off. Beep beep.
Time
to wake up to the deceit. All realities made up by the elite. Your turn, CFM.
I came here to kick some ass.
Roddy Piper. These damn masters that walk among us, they got me hyper. Don't be you and go.
Just like the
fluoride that they fly. And all the geoengineering we got in the sky.
I'm trying to tell you, and I hope that you're hearing me clearly. This ain't no bullshit speculation, conspiracy theory. They live and they're controlling every movement. From the apartment that you
Two whites are rap.
Come on, CFM.
You ignore this prison.
Bring it, CFM. Yeah. Go, CFM.
They want us like the walking
dead, just to obey and consume. Don't worry about anything. Keep your way to do.
To all my
To all my warriors out there, that this is being my call. Time to put a fucking end to this illegal game. How about that, Stavely?
Time to wake up to the deceit. Our realities made up by the elites. They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off. Beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our realities made up by the elites.
When they try to prove their spinning ball Earth, it's remarkable. All their arguments are absolutely fucking farcical. It's clearly been shown your problems are
Wait, who's supposed to be singing? You, Rose?
to tiny little particles. The pharmacological drugs they got the masses on precludes them from putting their rowdy Roddy Piper glasses on. And even when they do, they're unable to gaze too straight. Cause for most of them, it's way too late for them to see past their conditioning. They will not be listening to anything outside their paradigm imprisonment. They are ensconced in a nonsensical certitude, brainwashed by devils to revel in their servitude.
Russian kids, isn't it?
Pure hypocrisy. Waking these dummies up, it used to mean a lot to me. But nowadays I want to tip their canoes, and as they drown, tell them this is what you get when you snooze.
We sleep. The alarm's going off. Beep, beep.
Time to wake
up to do the seat. Our reality is made up by the elite.
They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off. Beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit.
Our whole reality is made up by the elite.
Rose, you should play when you get a chance. The ones I put some good photos to little plug for my phone.
All right, what were you saying, Ceiling Fan Man?
Oh, I was saying I took that song because I love ODD and I don't even know how to get a hold of them. I've been using their. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
If I can hear you, I think that
I've been using a lot of their songs.
Should we say hi to our friends?
Oh, hey,
Should we turn on our cameras now? 3, 2, 1, boom. What's up?
Hey,
Look, the drums are gone. Everything's gone. Everything's moved because of the flood.
I can't see the chat though, so I don't know if I have to go out again. Let me try that real quick. So.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, he left. Okay. All right, Magic Sister, Rasta Bear, Voynich, Machiketa. What's up, Kevin? Hey guys. All right, so that was our intro. We rapped to ODD.
I think you rapped. I kind of stumbled.
All right, Ceiling Fan Man, you sent me an article. Tell me about this article.
Well, I was watching a channel I watch all channels, even if they seem a little bit more on the fearish side, but all information's good. And that A Call for an Uprising, he was talking about some more predictive programming. And there's a movie, and I sent you the clip from IMDb, but it was a movie exactly about a year ago, and it was called 5 Feet Away. And it's basically a movie that's completely about predictive programming, about standing 6 feet away and passing a virus or whatever from one person to another, and how this relationship gets to blossom in a world where you can't get near each other and you have to wear masks and stuff. And so that's why I said, hey, have you seen this? And then you told me, like a lot on this subject. So that's kind of where it came from. So.
Yeah, I'm going to shut this down in like 5 seconds. You guys aren't even going to believe how I'm going to prove that this is such nonsense, and they are totally lying about the nature of this disease. And this not only shows the predictive programming. Let me share my screen with the IMDb. This is the movie that came out in 2019, which is the same year that this thing supposedly started.
In March.
5 years apart. And in this trailer, you'll notice that they say 6 feet apart, actually. Even though the name of the movie is 5 feet apart, they say 6. I heard it. Really weird. So a pair of teenagers with cystic fibrosis meet in a hospital, fall in love. Through their disease means they must avoid close physical contact. All right. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic mutation. It's a disease that is not contagious whatsoever. It's where you build up mucus in your lungs and you basically die from drowning. And most people are lucky if they survive past 20. Okay? Now, that's enough to prove that they're misrepresenting this disease. And it scares me because the idea that they're misrepresenting this disease, people who are born with like weird shit, their family and like the people around them, like having close contact, like is really freaking important to their mental health and well-being. Can you imagine if all of a sudden they started telling people with these genetic mutations that actually are not contagious that they are, and that everyone around them thinks that they have to stay away from them in order to keep them alive? And that's actually going to make them so depressed. So I'm going to prove to you right now that cystic fibrosis is not contagious. In fact, people with cystic fibrosis can be so close to each other that it will help them stay alive longer. And I made a joke about this with Baldini the other day and forgot about this documentary about Bob Flanagan. It is so funny that I have a reason to bring up this weird, twisted documentary. And before I do bring up that page, I'm going to warn you guys that this is kind of strange stuff to talk about, but I'm doing it to prove to you how messed up that predictive programming is. All right. Now, The Life and Death of Bob Flanagan is a documentary that I saw in my early 20s. The reason why I wanted to see it is because it was one of those things for shock value, like, oh, I can sit through this, like Asian gore movies and stuff. But in this case, Bob Flanagan was born with cystic fibrosis, and it's so painful. It's a very painful disease. And he got into this sadomasochistic sexual relationship. And he lived to be 45 years old. They did so much crazy stuff to each other. I'm not even going to repeat it. You could look it up for yourself if you want. But the point is that I went into this documentary thinking, wow, this is so messed up. I don't understand how people could like intentionally hurt each other, especially if you're already feeling like crap. Like for me, I want to avoid pain at all costs. That's just how I am. Maybe I could have gone in that route, but instead I went on the socially engineered expected part, which was to the opioids and all the stuff to avoid pain. That's, but this is what he did. And I thought that was very interesting. And so I couldn't understand it. And I thought, I'm just going to watch this for shock and just to be like, yeah, I dealt with it. But through the experience of watching that documentary, I understood him. I really understand this guy because he wanted to take control. This is how he took control. And I learned that, like, with the masochist part of it, it's not like being hurt like against your will. It's like planned and stuff. Like, it's the way you want it. I just wanted to inform people of that. If like, he made this funny song where he's like, don't do it like that. Da, 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 da. Anyway, I don't even want to go into it more. Ceiling Fan, did you leave me?
No, I'm still here. I'm fascinated. Just listening.
Okay. No, it is fascinating.
So I'm listening to what you had to say.
It's so fascinating. So this is shocking and stuff. All right. But I just want to prove to you guys that cystic fibrosis is not contagious, and you can do all sorts of strange, weird things. You can even pierce yourself, engrave yourself.
But I don't think you're alone in that thought that it's not sort of the natural thought that we want to abuse or hurt ourselves. Trust me. So you're not wrong with that at all. I believe, oh, here I am. Hello. I believe that's all.
That was an emergency situation. He accidentally saved his own life and lived longer. And like, think about it. You put on these vests, and the vests are like this. You got to break up the phlegm, man. You got to break up the phlegm. And I think that like maybe it was helping him to cough more or something. You got to cough when you have cystic fibrosis. And in the movie, he even met a young girl who had it, and it was her dream to meet him. And he went with her, and she got her nipples pierced. So trust me, it's fine. All right. So fuck that movie, right, Ceiling Fan Man?
Absolutely.
Aren't you pleasantly surprised at how much we said screw that predictive programming?
The thing is I never know what to expect anymore. And the fact that we're on here talking about pierced nipples, I kind of should have expected it, but it's cool. Like, whatever gets the information out there. I know I'm being funny, but at least I'm attempting it. But no, everything they've taught us. And again, I keep talking about how my wife's, registered nurse before she retired over 30 years. And she's got a lot of medical background. And now all she's doing is just deep diving in all kinds of books, reading about germ theory and viruses. And I mean, everybody that goes on Crow, she's bought their book. She's either got it in advance or she got it right after she heard the show. And it's fascinating. It's one of the easiest things to remember, but it's one of the hardest things to really to maintain in your head, is that every single thing we ever have been taught is a lie. It's like, if you just say that as a mantra, it makes it easy to understand, but at the same time, it's like impossible to understand. Like everything, like even that. Oh, okay. And even that, it's just like every day. Somebody was saying how many, I think it was, what's that? Rachel. She loves watching Rachel too, about how many what the fuck moments have you had in a day? And it used to be like, I don't know. It just keeps going up constantly. Constant. You there? Am I still on the air? Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. I was muted.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at the chat for a second. All right. Did you guys think that, do you guys want to know more? Do you want to hear Bob Flanagan sing a song? Or are you so freaked out by him that let's just move on? Because we could move on, because I actually think that I can take calls. Do you want to hear a Bob Flanagan song, or should we take calls? Or Ceiling Fan Man? What else do you want to talk about?
Shoot, let's see. I was what are my notes? Talk amongst yourselves.
He has notes.
I don't know. I was I'll always take notes all the time. But
here, how about I play? Okay, wait. He wrote a poem called "Why," and that poem explains why he does what he did. What he did. He died on camera in the documentary. I'm talking about this. I'm happy to talk about this documentary because if you could stomach it, it's such an interesting story. And like I always say, I'm fascinated by human behavior and how people handle living in this world. And the reason why I like the poem is because it does explain how he's a product of our unnatural world, just like you said, Ceiling Fan Man. Just like you said, his poem explains why that he had a genetic mutation disease, but the how he's dealing with it is his reaction to the world around him, and he very clearly describes that. So we can share that. Or I could share the song that he sang, and then we can
find the synchronicities in life that are happening more and more just fascinating. So, like, I came across something, sent it to you, and it triggered something that you said you even wrote papers on this stuff. So it's just like, it's weird how our virtual world is now melding completely with our natural world, whatever this is. And a perfect example that just happened to me was on Voynich's show. I have been dealing with the symbolism of a heron for the last 20 years. And then I actually started getting a giant heron that would come in my backyard and eat all our fish. And I thought about killing it, but then I felt I couldn't kill it because what's it doing? It's being a bird. That's its food, but he eats all my fish and takes a big crap in there and then takes off. So it really is irritating. So then I had this little BB gun, but every time I went to try to shoot at it, something would go wrong. The pellets were missing, or the thing was out, or it just would jam. I never seemed to get a good shot at it. And then just not too long ago, I got a shot that I know hit it, and it took off. And I started thinking to myself, I hope I really, didn't hurt it too much. And that same day, I burned my hand really bad. And I felt it, and I said to my wife, I don't know how to explain this, but I think I hurt that bird, and I think this is going to take as long as it's going to take him to heal. I didn't know how. And so, sure enough, it was like however many days or weeks, I can't even tell anymore. The time is so ridiculous now. But one of the things I did is I learned on one of these shows, I always show Vaseline, but I put this stuff on it, which has turpentine, and it freaking healed it like really fast.
Wow, awesome.
I've been thinking turpentine. Oh, right. Turpentine is really good on that too. So the next day after my hand was feeling better, the bird was back. And I went to go get my gun, or, my little pellet gun again. And I stopped and I looked at him, and he just flew off. Like, he looked me in the eye and he took off. He didn't stay. And then later, I think it was that day on Voynich's stream, we like playing with little characters like on Gypsy and stuff. And I was showing different coins or some things I had. And he goes, let me show you something, Richard. And he goes and he brings a dead heron that he found on the ground somewhere, I don't know where, that he'd had stuffed or whatever. And it was just such an odd thing. Like, from Netherlands, now I'm looking at a dead heron. And he just felt compelled to show me. And I don't even know why. And then after that show, I said to my wife, I can't explain it, but I don't think he'll be back. And we haven't seen that heron since. So I don't know what that all means, but the synchronicities of this world are just getting it's so bizarre that he's talking about this subject and you're talking about this subject and all over the country and all over the world. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Synchronicity is so crazy. A lot of times I'll be thinking about a certain topic and then a guest will contact us and it will be related to that topic, and then it'll end up being a show or something. There's been
times I've been working on a show and I play different things on the TV down below, and your show even, I've had people talking about exactly what I'm working on. And it happened with that one Bon Jovi song. I was making a little tiny intro for one of my videos, and everyone was playing that same Bon Jovi song over and over. So it was it's fascinating. I think of the cloud, like the Apple cloud. We got an ether cloud, and all those ideas are up there. And if somebody looks at it, and then all of a sudden it's given more light, and other people start looking at it, next thing you know, a lot of people are looking at it. It's a thought.
Yeah.
No, I did not shoot a heron or heroin. What does that say? Heron. No, I did not shoot one. No, it was a BB, whatever. It's a little BB. So I guess technically I shot it, but not a gun. He was okay. He flew away and came back, gave me the stink eye.
Okay, I'm just going to post these links to Bob Flanagan so people can watch it if they want. Oh, I want to thank Trey Clark for the super chat. That's my first super chat ever.
Yahoo! I was here. Do I get a sticker?
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I posted the song of him singing and then the why poem, and like he refers to Disney and stuff being responsible for some of his ways of thinking. It was just pretty interesting, so you guys can check that out later. So should I try to take a call?
Sure.
Do you think anyone out there wants to call us? We should give people advice on stuff.
Ooh, like, oh, okay.
Like people can call us. You might not be thinking, "Oh, I don't want to talk about this or that," but yeah, let's talk about whatever is on your
You
mind.
can do that. I'll get ready. Hang on. Go ahead.
All right, hold on. Let me set this up. I already have this going. Boom, but don't do it yet because I have to turn it on, I think. Let's go here to. All right, I think it's on. I think you guys can call, but let me just.
Is there a way to change my name on there, or do I have to get out of the StreamYard to do it?
Yes.
I'm gonna put my
I think you
official
can leave and come back. Oh, nice. Yes, thank you, doctor.
So, all right, let me see if I can change the name in here. I might have to go back out and come in. We'll see.
Do you want me to kick you out?
Well, no, that would be sad. I'll just do it myself.
All right. So I think that you guys can just try calling the number that is going at the bottom of the screen now, and let's see if it works. You might need to speak loudly. I might need to fix the levels, and I don't know how, but I won't find out unless I try. So let's try. Somebody call 985-401-1195. We got to put on some music already. I really want someone to call. If nobody calls, then we'll end the stream, right? And there we go. Oh.
How's that? Was that
Oh, love it.
my official title?
Beautiful. All right, we're waiting for someone to call. And if you try to call and it doesn't work, then please let us know.
There, I got to make sure I close this up so you can see I'm officially smart.
I have to keep my eye on this interview that is airing with Crow because, oh, here we go. I have to give them lemons. All right, someone's calling. Yes. Hello, you've reached Rose777 and faux Dr. Ceiling Fan Man, MD, PhD, XYZ.
Thank you very much.
Whom are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Nachketa Rose.
Hey.
Ceiling
Yes!
Fan Man. May I call you guys?
How's it going, man? Good to see you.
What's up? I'm so happy that you are my first caller and it works. Can everyone hear?
I can hear you.
In the chat?
I can hear you guys. Ceiling Fan Man, you're sounding a little bit soft on my side, but I can hear you guys. All right.
I'll put my headphones on. Hang on.
Maybe that will help. What's on your mind, man?
Oh man, I don't know.
Can you
I
hear
had
me
a
better?
call with my family today. Yeah, definitely. This is much better.
Much better. Okay.
Okay, you had a weird call with your family today. Were they asking you if you were staying safe?
No. I had a Zoom. You know, like a Zoom. It's like it's an app, and then you can have like a conference call. So everybody, like my family, is like all spread out. I have like a sister living in France. My brother lives in New Hampshire. I have another sister living in Wisconsin. I have another sister living in Maryland. My parents all.
Yeah, I think we lost him, or I lost him. Can you still hear me, Rose?
Hello?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you both.
Oh, okay. That was probably me then. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I'll mute.
So, so it was really interesting to talk to everybody and then talk about this coronavirus. but because I'm like, I think COVID is a hoax. I believe in the flat Earth, and I'm Mandela affected, and none of those topics would go well with my family at all. I didn't even bring it up.
Rose?
Man, feeling that, man. What do I do? You're the doctor, man.
Well, here's the thing. First thing about a diagnosis is, now I'm not going to make you go through the whole thing, but see, Rose muted the mic, and I don't think anyone heard any of that. At least I didn't, and some people in the chat.
So when I mute them, I'm muting the mic, mutes the caller?
So I'll just go with it. Good question. Here's what I think.
No.
Hey, could you give us the shorter version of that? Give us like a little shorter version of that, and then we'll do. Is he there? He can't hear us now.
Did he leave?
Hello.
I'm never muting myself again. Sometimes I have to type, and it's loud.
You know what? This is nothing, Rose. I don't know how many people in the chat caught the show that I did the other night, and I brought on that young man Isaiah, who I just find fascinating, and Karen and Ted and who else joined? Obviously Mark, and then Mad Pie Man was there. I hope I named everyone. It was so awesome. But at the end of the show, I turned off the StreamYard, said goodnight, and didn't shut the cameras off, I guess. So everyone dropped out but Mark. It's system failure. And you never want to hand over your show to system failure. I love the man. But it was the funniest thing. Even if you haven't watched, it's a couple hours we talked. Just watch like the last 5 minutes when system failure is like, is everyone gone? Is anyone coming back? I've got your show. I had no idea any of it was going on. And I was talking to my wife how well everything went. And suddenly I hear a voice from upstairs. It's Mark going, hello. So anyways, this is fine. Don't worry about it. If
Mark's a riot, man.
He's on. So go on. What were you saying?
Me or Rose?
Nachiketa, tell us,
you had a question.
Everybody, about the Zoom call that you had with your family and how it had been such a long time since you had talked like you normally do, and to discuss the coronavirus. And since you're a flat earther and you know it's a hoax and you're Mandela affected, just share with us whatever. I'm so sorry. Now I know.
You basically so.
Yeah, that was right? Pretty good synopsis, bro.
It was? I think there's a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay.
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I will talk to you from the future. Ask your question.
Well, I mean, I think one of the more difficult things about all this stuff is how do you break the ice, And I think, of course, you have strangers, and then you have your friends, and then you have your family, and everybody, and you have, we get together quite often. I mean, we almost see each other every day, like the people who are on the internet. So, like, we kind of have a pretty good idea where everybody's at here, right? And we've already gravitated towards each other on subjects that we care about, and we believe them to be, the truth. But how do you kind of introduce like where we are at? Because we believe, what we believe because that's the truth, right?
All right, I can handle this one.
Yeah.
So where do you even start?
All right, okay. Doctor, take it away.
You bet. The doctor's in the house. Okay, so this is how I perceive it. Everyone's on a different path, and everyone moves at their own pace. When you're in high school, some of the kids just constantly took off and they were ahead of everyone else. I wasn't one of them. And of course, Brian was always in the back behind. And no, I'm kidding. He was way more athletic, I guess, in high school. He was a wrestler. Probably still kicked my ass. But in any case, like everyone's at a different level of whatever it is. And whatever level we're at right now, anyone that's listening to this, we didn't get here overnight. I mean, this has been several years, and it's a slow process. And along each rung of this ladder, or whatever you want to call it, there's always been like a time when you think, okay, I've got it down, and then you get sucker punched, and then next thing you know, your whole world drops away again. It's happened so many times now. And two of the people that brought me into this whole mess, Brian and Karen, they both did it to me once. Brian did it with 9/11, and Karen did it with Flat Earth. So, and a few things I'll always know, I'm still going to be continually making mistakes. I just hope I don't make the same ones. It's the way I used to run my business. Like, make a mistake, I won't be upset. You make the same one, now it's getting irritating. If you do it 3 times, I always put things in 3s, because it's once is an occurrence, twice is a coincidence, and 3 times is a pattern. So if you keep making the same mistake, so okay, so what does this all have to do with what you asked? So since we're all at different stages, you can't just jump into, and when I say this, I don't mean you. I mean just, theoretically, you can't just jump into whatever stage you're feeling if they haven't even looked into JFK, or maybe they still think that they believe in the moon landing, or there's so many different levels to this that you don't know where they are. So I try not to push my opinion on anyone, but if someone asks a question of me, I always preface it as, well, you asked me what I believe. I'm not trying to convince you. This is what I think. And then I kind of go at it that way. But just feel your audience on each thing. And there's passive ways you can do it. It's funny because I just did a video that I put up last night around midnight where I talked about things that people can do. Because doing this is not necessarily everyone can do it. My wife doesn't want anything to do with this area, but she likes making memes, and most of the memes I get, she's found or made them. And so, and she likes doing things on Twitter, whatever, but she's not big for this kind of stuff. Brian is amazing at these phone call things, and obviously so is Rose too. I have fun with them, but they stress me out. I'd rather just do like she offered to do it on her channel, and I was all for it. Anybody wants me to talk, I'm there. I love it. That's one thing I love to do. So we all you just do it differently. And one of the things I did, I started writing down channels of some of these people that you all watch, ones that I enjoy or have good content, and you leave it for people. Like if I saw, this is back when we were allowed in restaurants. I was in California, we're all Thousand Oaks where my folks were visiting, and I went into a restaurant, and it was what's that one that's real popular out there? That the Mexican takeaway, whatever. Anyways, I went in there, and it wasn't El Polo, because that other one, Chipotle or something like that. I think that's what it was. Anyways, I went in there, and while you're waiting, there was about, I'd say, 4 young men in their 20s just hanging out, waiting for their food. So I took the time to write on a paper all these different good channels of truth. And then as I got my food and was ready to leave, I walked up to him and I just handed him the papers, and I said, hey, my entire generation's lied to you. It's not your fault. You guys should check out some of this. And I left. So there was no confrontation. They might think it's some crazy old dude and laugh at me, which is fine. Or it could be like a whole Big Lebowski moment where like, wow, some stranger, we should check this out. And maybe they look at it and laugh at it. Or maybe one of them goes, wow, that's something to think about. And that's all it is, man. It's mustard seeds. It doesn't matter if you reach one person or 20 or 50. The fact that when I started doing whatever it is I'm doing, when I get just one email that said, wow, that thing really helped the struggle I was doing at that moment. That's all it needed. It's like that made it all worthwhile. Even if I don't care. I mean, of course, I love having subscribers and I like getting likes and comments, of course. But at the end of the day, it's not for that reason. It's to keep my wife sane so I don't keep talking to her. And it gets it out of me because I feel compelled. It's like I feel something, an idea and some information. And I feel if I don't do one of these videos, I'm failing. I'm doing my job.
Let me switch gears a little bit. Yeah, and that's great, and I appreciate that. I mean, and I think I agree with you about all those kind of things. But here's the thing: like, do you guys believe, you and Rose, do you guys believe that are we getting close to that, like, critical moment? Are we getting close to that, like, end time type of deal? Do you believe it? Do you guys believe that?
I'm not into the end times. I think that there's a cyclical nature to the place that we live, and that it might be the end of some kind of cycle, like an age, just in the same way that 9/11 changed everything. I think that right now I feel that we're at a critical moment where it's so important for people to wake up, but I don't know how, because people are so traumatized. They're still in the trauma. In 9/11, it was boom, planes went down morning, and we went to school, and everyone was crying with the TV on, and then everyone bought American flags, and then slowly the legislation came out, but life was we still operated. The war wasn't on our territory. In our minds, we thought, oh, we are at war, but it didn't happen here. Our lives weren't changed. My day-to-day life didn't change. But now we're still in the 9/11 moment, because people think that there's a freaking virus going around. So I think that this is the critical moment, and I'm waiting for the I told you so. In a month, maybe it's like, okay, none of us know anyone that died. And the people that we do know that died of supposed COVID, we know that they put it on the death certificate because they were in a nursing home or they already had a pre-existing condition. I mean,
I have
now people are getting hostile.
Yeah, this is all something that we are all aware of,
My thought on this is
I mean, like,
this.
I'm not saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, it's just everything that we can come up with, no matter how much research or how much scripture study or whatever we've done, it's still a theory at the end of the day until the ending or whatever this is. It's still a theory. So I'm aware of all the different ones. There's some people that think where it's an astral plane and the raptures. Some of us are going to like be unplugged, and then the rest of us have to keep doing this until we figure it out. But let's say it's the Bible version, let's say like you're discussing that it's the end times or whatever. The way I look at it is, since every single thing they've ever told us was a lie, and we know the King James Bible is completely corrupted, within that statement, I believe that the rules of this game, if we call it, that God runs it, obviously. Satan's allowed to mess with us. Just read the book of Job. But he's not allowed to, like, take us in or out. Only God can bring us in or kill us. So the fact that there's more than one time in the Bible where God, I don't say changed his mind, but he listened to us or watched people change their ways, and then he decided to do it a different way. He's God. He can do whatever he wants. So the fact that this book has been written out with this specific ending where the New World Order comes in and it's death and destruction and off with our heads, that's his story, as Jen says. So who's to say that we don't have the right, as children of God, the people that he loves more than anything, who's to say we don't have the right with our free will to change the story? So who's going to do it? Us, the people watching this right now, the people in these truther communities. It's up to us to wake the sleeping giant. The reason that the New World Order doesn't really give two shits about any of us is they own at least 90 to probably 99% of the world population. So it's actually not even cost effective to come down my driveway and cut my head off. I'm not saying they couldn't, but I'm not worried about that. What they're worried about is if we can somehow wake the masses. And it's the precipice. Right now, we're at the tipping point, because if people don't figure this out soon, then it will continue to his story. And it's up to us, like the video I just made, to do something about it and write our own story. Because what do we got to lose? If we do nothing, we're guaranteed that ending. But we could do something. And I'm not saying rise up with guns and stuff. I'm saying change people's minds. That's why we're here. Why else are we here? It's not for the fun ride, though.
What do you think about the end times, Nachiketa?
Well, I do agree with you. I think it is cyclical, and things come and go, and the movie that you guys were talking about, it's like a predictive programming. Could the Bible be a form of predictive programming in a way, right? It could be. I don't know.
Playbook.
You know, and in my mind, what's that?
No,
Like
totally.
a playbook.
I believe, again, the rules of the game is the message still has to be there. That's our guidebook. It's like that movie Beetlejuice. That's our guidebook, the Bible. Now, it's been corrupted, but the message is still there. Because even if you're not a believer in Jesus or the Bible, what are the teachings? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Treat someone the way you want to be treated, and live in peace. I mean, what's wrong with that? That's what I want anyways, whether I'd read the Bible or not. I didn't know that. I mean, I found God and I hadn't even read the Bible yet. So you don't even need the Bible. But it's nice.
Nachiketa, go ahead and finish your thought, Nachiketa.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's like, no, it's okay. It's fine. Like I'm not here to condemn the Bible. I mean, I think it's always going to come down to our own discernment anyway. And, you know, I come from the philosophy that, of non-dualistic philosophy, where, you know, Satan or the evil is more or less like the construct of our thoughts. But again, you know, we're kind of diving into something very esoteric and something kind of very difficult to talk about, you know, in a very short time amount of time. So in the end, you know, I believe strongly that, you know, we as a collective, as a humanity, we deserve what we have exactly now. We've all manifested, from the human beings to the reptilians to whomever that's existing, who's all the players involved in creating whatever situation. And we do know, to a degree, that some of these elites want, maybe all of them, I don't know, but some of them, they want to get rid of a lot of people though too. Now, you know, things are happening quite rapidly. This is my feeling. And then I do feel that we are in that critical juncture right now where we're going to have to make some real decisions. And the seeds are going to have to be planted, you know, like not just, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit more like, I don't know, more like strongly advocating to a certain idea than others, because like I want to shake some people up. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of the reason why we're all doing the things that we're doing and getting involved and going on channels day in and day out. We are hungry for the truth, you know? And it doesn't matter whether you're like you come from like the Christian / Bible. I think there's a lot of good things in the Bible, but hey, Bible has been used to, support some crappy shit that has happened in the past, you know?
The thing is
it's all about interpretation there.
Trey mentioned it in the chat. The good guys win in the end. Whatever happened in the Bible, there's stories, and you can watch. There's a show. I don't know if you guys have heard Crow 777. It's a really good show, Rose. You should check it out. And they talk about things like that, where there's the Greek mythology and you know, I have such a close friend. I love him to death. He's Pakistani and he's Muslim, but he and I believe in almost identical things, you know? So it's like, if whatever takes you to the path to find the creator, that's your path. And then where you go from there, again, that's still your path. And the Bible, to me, it's one of the best tools we have right now to look at and see things that have matched up in the past that are happening right now, and then look at the things to come. But again, on the things to come, I believe, like you say, they could have changed it to suit their needs. They want to bring in the New World Order. Why wouldn't they predictive program some crazy stuff there? You know,
there's a lot of good elements of truth in the Bible, but we know that the powers that be do utilize those ideas, just like in the legal system, utilizing ideas of Christianity. So they could be using the Bible as a playbook. And a lot of people like Crow are making connections in the dates and the different things that are happening in the media as it's unfolding. He's trying to see if maybe that does resemble the book of Revelation in a way, but that doesn't mean that there's going to be some kind of rapture. It just could be that they're doing this occult ritual of trauma on all of us in order to gain more control. And then there's another idea that all things see their end, even in the cyclical nature of things, but anything that man creates is going to see its end, or just like the idea of like living and dying. I just don't know how such a corrupt system could go on forever. Right now we're seeing that there's all this revolution and just bad people are replacing the leaders. I don't know how that could change, or I know we'd have to probably evolve our consciousness as a collective in order to stop behaving the same way over and over again, and letting ourselves be slaves.
But that's available to us right now. They've been jacking up the ether or the cloud or whatever with all their rituals. That thing is supercharged right now. I feel it. I mean, I'm not just trying to say. It's funny. I like talking on these channels because I can say crazy things where other places they call me crazy. I've watched my wife materialize the pen. That's the only way I can describe it. She wanted a black Sharpie. We were in our car. I said, "What are you nuts? Who has a black Sharpie?" We walked 5 feet, and there was a black Sharpie on the ground, brand new, like somebody had bought it and placed it there. So no, and that's just one little thing, but things happen all the time that are unexplainable in the old world. So in the new world, we have the capability of I mean, if we're all energy, man, I mean, my cells are energy, and negative energy attracts negative and positive. We know how that all works. That's science. We know that they can manipulate clouds and different things to come together and make rain. We can do that shit too. We haven't turned it on, and there's way more of us, and that's what they're afraid of. They're not afraid of me on my little driveway. They're afraid of if I talk to enough people and then the sleeping giant figures it out, because that's all they have over us. They know this the way the tools work, and we don't. That's it. My eyes. Hopefully, are we keeping it? If anyone else wants to call in too, otherwise we can keep going here.
Well, no.
Okay.
I want Nachiketa to respond.
Yeah, I like hearing this guy.
Well, thank you. Ceiling fan. I'm glad you like me. No, I mean, like, I agree with you. I agree with you that, we have this ability to manifest things. I mean, we are much more powerful than, the way we were taught. I mean, like you said, like, everything is a lie. And all the lies indicate that, hey, we are just small creatures, that are just randomly placed here. Nothing makes sense. And we kind of live this life of drudgery, and I think it kind of creates this creature that is of like low self-esteem and somebody who cannot reason and cannot make any sense of anything. And that's an issue. And our job is first, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, is for the individuals to come to a certain understanding themselves. Like you say, hey, we have this power to do amazing things. Well, let's not, just talk the talk. Let's walk the talk. Let's make it happen. Let's really like demonstrate those abilities. And then once you can demonstrate it, it becomes clear. You lead by example. You lead by example, and then when other people see that, they understand that themselves, and then we are collectively doing that. I think for sure we can switch timelines. We can switch events.
100%. It is lead by example, because I see all the time. In fact, I just saw one yesterday. It was mainstream showing you that if you were to, and I don't know if it's true because we don't know anymore, but supposedly this guy was going to China, and when he got there, then he had to spit in a cup and then stay in a hotel room for 24 hours where he couldn't leave. And then if he got a phone call and he was negative, then he would go home and be quarantined for 2 weeks. And they put in like an ankle monitor or a wrist monitor on the guy. And then if he didn't pass the test, he'd go to the hospital and probably they'd kill him. I don't know. But when I watched Brian go from, one end of the coast to the other and absolutely no problem. So, I tend to believe Brian because he's my virtual friend, and the other guy I don't even know at all, whereas Brian I don't know, but he's my friend. And so he seemed more believable, right? So that's what I'm saying. So it's like
but the guy what?
America and China is different. You said the guy went to
Correct.
China.
Correct. So that's the thing I'm saying. But
Yeah,
how much
so-
of that, since I don't know anyone that's gone from here to China right now, now it's again this fear thing where they're going to make everyone go, well, I don't want to do it. And if I hadn't seen Brian do it, this whole country is under the impression you can't do it. So it's a constant state
That's
of fear.
crazy to me that people don't know, can't just go and see that you can buy a ticket right now. People
I
are
know.
just so stuck near.
They won't look at anything. I printed this darn thing out. I show it to whoever wants to see it, and no one cares. It's this Dr. Fauci, where he talked about, shut everything down, and then the same day in the New England Journal of Medicine, he talked about it's all fake. And it's like, but see, that's how it works. They can deceive us as long as they tell us. So here he
But
said,
actually, Finman, you can't go to China right now, right?
well,
It's
I don't
different.
know.
We could fly. We can't go to Hawaii yet. We can't go to China. Is that what you were trying to point out, Nachiketa?
I was going to. My point was that China, as a country, is vastly different than America. In China, once you go there, they can do whatever the fuck they want with you. Really, you know what I mean? They can, if that's like a gentle thing. I mean, they have millions of people in concentration camps there in China, and they're having like organ harvesting going on in China. China is a monstrous of a country. This is our number one enemy. I mean, I don't want to.
That's not our number one enemy.
Chinese people are great. They're a great culture, but the Chinese government and the shit that's going on there is horrendous.
Yeah, it's a dictatorship.
Yeah. I heard the protests have still been going on. They never stopped, from what I was told. So who knows?
Yeah.
No information gets out that they don't want out. That's the problem. Just like, once again, in the United States, everyone thinks you can't fly, and Brian says, no, see, look, you can. So we get the same propaganda. We don't know what to believe.
Well, there's some information do get out. I mean, it's like you got 1.3 billion people, and if and you have millions of people in concentration camps, and there is some eyewitness accounts of these things, and that's kind of the information that we do rely on to kind of gauge what does go on in China. I mean, as far as their espionage spying is concerned, I mean, like we have everything that's made in China, computers to phones, and all those kind of stuff have like backdoor system that they have hacked, like surveillance systems, all made in China. Everything's made in China, and they got like information. They got their hands on like more than 6 billion people's like biometric data. So it's something to be concerned about for sure.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
They're just part of the bigger.
They also have the social credit rating. They have our American social credit ratings in China already, and they are doing. And I can totally see this happening here because people are wanting to take the benefits, and you can't blame them because they just lost their businesses. But in China, because they want to get facial recognition down really well, they were telling people that they could get one of their bills paid if they smile into a camera, because a smile is a better way for them to understand the individual face. So I could see people doing that here, being like, oh, I'll smile into a camera so I don't have to pay my phone bill.
It's totally on its way here. In fact, that's part of the reason there's traffic light cameras. There's cameras everywhere in every shopping center and everything. And now they even got the citizens to put them on their doors. So now even all kinds of suburban neighborhoods, all those Ring doorbells, they all have cameras. And they got cameras in their houses now, and they got Alexas listening to them. I mean, the surveillance system we did to ourselves, just like everything else. The people that run this world are cheap.
Right.
They just make us do everything for them. So.
Well, yeah, that's like Facebook though too. I mean, Facebook also makes us do everything. I mean, they have all this kind of free information. But there's this guy. His name is Cyrus Harsa. He is an AI expert. And one of the things that he was talking about is that this social distancing thing, because in China, they've already kind of more or less perfected, because Chinese and East Asians, I mean, I'm an Asian, so I can say this, that they do really look very similar to each other, all of similar size, all black hair, black guys, they all kind of do look very much alike to each other, you know. And then in like America and Europe, you have a little bit more of a diverse population. So in China, they have already developed an AI program using in conjunction with the surveillance system, where they can more or less, you know, identify people. And that's how social credit systems work, because you have to identify the individual and understand, you know, what social rating that they are, right? Then you can allow them to take public transportation or go to a bank or whatnot and into a restaurant, whatever. But in America, that technology is still not yet perfected. And that's maybe the part of the reason why we do this social, quote unquote, social distancing thing to better identify people. Because if you are right next to each other, you know, then this surveillance AI system may have a more difficult time to separate people, particularly on the fact that you have cell phones as well with, you know, with GPS, and if you're right next to somebody, then it'll be difficult to know which one is which, right?
They have a lot of this crazy technology, and the thing is the information that's coming out of China or any other country, we honestly don't know. I mean, Crow's the one that convinced me that nuclear weapons don't exist. I'm pretty much assured I don't think North Korea is a real country. I don't believe. I mean, there's people that are, you know, think they're North Korean, but that whole dictator and all that, I don't even know what's going on there. So it's like, I don't believe the continents are where they say they are. I obviously don't believe the moon and the sun are where they say they are. So when I watch videos and even watch them on Truther channels, I can't tell you.
Let Notch, he wants to jump in for a second.
Okay, and I think Trey wanted to call in too.
Like I lived in Korea for like a long time. I lived in Korea from 2004 to 2014, and like, you know, I've gone near the border of North Korea. You know,
right?
Okay, I don't know what you say if North Korea doesn't exist.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean what they show me on TV. The leaders and all that stuff, that pomp and circumstance, he could be a complete actor just like our president. And I do believe you live in a country or you live there and you knew people that were, you know, North Koreans. I get that. However, I was talking to Robert from Jesse Rose's brother. He's in England, and it was like a 7-hour flight. But who's to say it's actually in a different location than the map tells me? Because why would they tell me the truth on the map if they lied about the freaking globe? So maybe he's only 2 hours away from Washington State, but they fly around like the South Pole or whatever the heck they do for 5 hours to make you think it's farther than it is, so it matches up with their stupid thing. They're not burning fuel. We already know that. They're using the free air or whatever they're doing up there. So they fly around because they make a ton of money off you because you pay more for that trip. And it's a joke because everything they do to us is freaking mockery. So now I'm paying more money. I'm sitting on my ass for like 7 hours when I could have paid less and been there in 2. So where is North Korea? I honestly don't know. And I would say you wouldn't either, because at some point you would have gotten off of the landmass and flown over water or boated over water. And at that point, you really don't know where you are because you're in the middle of water as far as you can see. And your compass won't help you because the continents are in the wrong places. What does it matter? Mandela effect freaking moved Vietnam, or was it Korea? Way the heck up by Japan. So that just meant maybe the map's always been wrong. So what I'm saying is, yes, you live where you did, and I'm not arguing there are people, and I get that. It might not be where you think it is. That's what I'm saying. And I just get passionate. I'm not upset at anybody, so don't worry about that.
All right.
No, okay. Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, I guess I'll let you guys go and then have somebody else call.
It's great talking to you. Nice
Thank
call.
you, guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. All right. I'm so happy you're my first caller, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Take it easy. Bye, Rose.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Give us a ring dong, Dutchie.
All right. They're going to take one more. I like to keep it close to an hour. It's already about to be an hour. And so let's have someone else call in now. Let me put up the number, and we'll just make it short. So if you want to call in, just give us your burning desire. Like, this is an AA meeting, and we need to wrap it up.
Ring dong, Dutchie.
Let's get the number up here. The number is 985-401-1195.
And if somebody doesn't call in real quick, I might go get a coffee and a smoke.
Yeah, we could just start playing music.
You can say hi to the chat, Karen.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, we should say hi to the chat. For those of you that are not going to call.
Someone call in. Be our second caller.
Karen, Franny, hello. Sue Finelli, Singeman, Israel Adams, Kevin Soonen.
Trey, you wanted to call in.
I don't know why Nachiketa didn't respond to what you said. I would say that it's not that it's fake. Oh, hold on. Let me answer this.
Well, he couldn't respond because I'm a doctor.
Hold on. It's not letting me. I think too many people are calling at once. Hello there. Just hold on 1 second. Whoever you are, I'm so happy that you called in. You have made it. If you are hearing my voice, but I just need you to hold on right now because I want to say, while I'm thinking about it, that to Nachiketa, hello Trey, hold on. Nachiketa, I think what one of the things that Ceiling Fan Man might have been referring to is like how they were showing that they have fake supermarkets or something in North Korea. Is that what you were referring to? Where they're trying to make it look like they have more abundance or that they're treating their people better than they actually are?
Yeah,
I was just trying to figure that, but he wanted to get off the phone. So it's okay. We'll continue that talk later. I just want to keep the conversation open. All right? Open. That looks like...
Sure. I'm ready. Are we good?
All right. So, I don't know. I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to. Trey, what's going on?
Oh, no, I just listen to you guys. I have very little desk time, so it's been fun this week. Hearing you guys and Baldini, I've been talking today. So just kind of listened, but thought I would chime in if there was a moment to. But I'll stand by until there's something. I do know that I've tried to Google Earth at 38th parallel, and there are all kinds of issues with that as far as people that do flights and into North Korea and all that area. So he's spot on. The flights don't make sense. The 38th parallel, just like the 60th parallel with Antarctica, has more problems than you could work out on 10 chalkboards.
So we're talking about land masses moving, but not necessarily that North Koreans don't exist. We know
I didn't say North Koreans don't exist. Is that what I said? I hope I didn't. I didn't mean they don't exist.
I'm just being clear. I want to be clear about what we're all thinking.
Okay.
Because I have my ideas about what North Korea is.
Don't make me sound crazier than I already am.
See, we put two crazy people together, and we just need to clarify our thoughts before our crazy ideas mesh and we misinformation and disinformation our faux thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
And Nachiketa lived in South Korea by the border, so I was interested in what he had to say in response to everything you said. But it seemed like he was like, "Whoa, that is so crazy that I'm just going to leave."
Well, I hope he's not upset. But my whole point is, it doesn't matter what landmass you live in. I have friends in Australia. They don't know where they live, honestly, because at some point you fly over water or you're on a boat over water and you can't see landmass. So if the land masses are not where they told us, it doesn't matter.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for the super chat. All right, Trey, what's on your mind? And speak up a little bit because it's kind of hard to hear you. It's probably my fault. I need help with my levels.
Okay. Is this better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Do you have a channel, Trey? Because I'm already interested in your 38 parallel information. So.
Okay, so you can create anything. Like I live in Texas, which is huge. And other than a compass, you really can't say where you really are. You can drive a very long time. You drive from Amarillo. I lived in Amarillo, Texas. Can y'all hear me okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I just have to press you against my ear.
The joke in Texas is that we built the wall on the wrong side of the state. That's just our pride. But so you go into Oklahoma, and you can't tell the difference. You cannot tell the difference at all. When I was living in Houston, they were doing a movie with Charlie Sheen called The Chase. and they had our border, or sorry, the tollway decked out like the Mexican border, which we're all familiar with, and it was very convincing. There was no, if you weren't familiar with your distances and times, absolutely, you could fool some people and say, no, this is it. And then you go into the Truman Show type thing, and yeah, it's just, I mean, if I had to guess, if a gun was to my head to guess right, I would say North Korea is absolutely just kind of game show set. That's my guess. I don't have any proof to back that up, but that's my thought.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Well, was it like, for instance, Zal says, I know.
I've only seen stuff on television about it, so I cannot.
Zal says he knows where he lives in Australia. And again, I hope people don't think I think that these countries, that there's a joke that people think these countries don't exist. What I mean is, I don't believe they are where they told us. Why is it, as a truther community, we think they lie about everything, including the globe, but the continents are exactly where they say? I mean, that makes no sense. So if everything's a lie, doesn't mean that the continents are placed where they say. So yes, you live in Australia, and everyone talks the way they do in Australia, and they have the animals and stuff. I get it. It's a continent that has that stuff. But who's to say it's where they say it is? Because on the globe model, it's down below, and we know that's wrong. So just because a flat Earth model sticks it over here because they got it on the UN flag, why wouldn't they lie about that? I mean, it would be a big joke. The fact that we find out we don't live in the globe, and then we get trapped. Literally, it looks like a grid, like a spider web. They trapped us again. We think the continents are where they are. And my friend right now that's saying hi in Australia, you live in Australia, but maybe you're below Florida. I don't know where it is, because at some point you only can see water. Unless someone can tell me differently, is there a time when you can leave one, quote, continent and be able to see the other continent without having water at any point in a flight or a boat crossing? I could be wrong, but I don't think there is. And at any point that happens, they could take you wherever you want, because you really don't know where you are. That's what I mean. Does that make sense? I hope.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm totally open to the idea that we've been lied to about the map. We have no idea how far away things are. I mean, yeah, we have ground-based GPS and stuff, and we can get in the car and it tells us. But because of the water and stuff, it would be easy to trick us how far away the continents are from each other, and the discrepancies in the flights is a thing. So, Trey, what do you have to say about that before we wrap it up?
They go some other way.
I'm going to duck out. Sorry, go ahead. I'm going to duck out. I'll say this. My wife went from Australia to, I think it was South Africa, and then to Santiago, Chile, I believe, and had to go through France to get there. So if you look at an Airbus, how much fuel they hold, just look at them, and then look at the plane, and it's insane. It's impossible. It's about 4 Olympic swimming pools full of fuel that they can fill up somehow. And I was a volunteer firefighter, that they can fill up in a very short period of time with a very small hose. And that's my take on it. I think it's all, what do you say, poppycock?
Yes, poppycock.
It's such a, anyway, that's my take. I think I spoke my piece there. So I'll duck out. Thanks for picking up.
All right, Trey. Thanks for coming on to the show.
Yeah, that was excellent. I don't know if he has a channel, but have him throw it in there. I'd like to see more of his.
Yeah, let's get his channel. All right, Trey. I don't know if you.
Trey Clark Theories.
Trey Clark Theories. I'm going to get your link right now. All right, how about we take one more surprise phone call if there's someone out there with a burning desire. Let's get Trey's, because I have to get Trey's link. And then I'm going to have to promote the live stream tonight.
Hopefully everyone in the chat realizes I know people exist, and I know people exist in the place they were told. Just like,
I'm going to answer the phone. All right, you have reached Rose777 and Ceiling Fan Man. Hello. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, Rose. My name is, I'm Jay Armstrong in chat.
Jay Armstrong, hello. I've been seeing
Hi,
your
Jay.
chat. What's up? What's on your mind?
I wanted to call in.
She's really low.
Yeah, could you speak up a little bit?
Can you hear me better now?
I need to get help raising these levels somehow, but if you could just kind of pretend that we're both deaf.
Screaming.
Yeah.
Can you hear me better now?
It's kind of low, but I'm holding the thing really close to my ear, so I think it'll be okay. Go ahead.
My technology has been most uncooperative lately.
It's all good.
All of ours, yeah.
Anyway, there was an episode of that show, The West Wing, like years and years ago, and it was talking about how all the maps were like politically, motivated. They made Germany look like, 3 or 4 times the size it was, the U.S., Russia, and all of that. So, and I could absolutely be on board with the idea that North or South Korea, that would be North Korea, yeah, would be a soundstage. I mean, all that. Wasn't Kim Jong-il dead for a little bit, and then he mysteriously rose from the dead on May 3rd?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was the news? That he died?
Yeah, he died and then he rose, yeah.
Oh.
Then there was also the thought,
Like, he was a young guy, right?
His
Really,
dad
really
never had bowel movements and all kinds of weird stuff we hear. But again, it's all propaganda, so you're right. You're right, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I never watched The West Wing. So, yeah, there was an episode and they were talking about how the maps are changed politically.
Right. I didn't really ever watch that show either. I just happened to catch that one episode or, a few episodes of it. But I wanted to add that in. That was it.
Cool.
Do you think that
do you care to share where you're located? Like the general vicinity?
Oh, I live in upstate South Carolina.
All right. Upstate South Carolina.
I got a question for
Find
you.
my channel.
Do you think that that's related to the Mandela? I mean, what about this theory? If we're finding out they lied to us about everything, the fact that I think it was North and South Korea moved way north, maybe that's where they always potentially were, and the veil got lifted and it looks like they've moved, and California used to be an island and now it's connected, and you know what I mean? So maybe the original maps and the current one are still wrong, and that's why things supposedly like move and change shape and Cuba gets bigger. I mean, how what do you think? Is that possibly it? I don't know.
Yeah. Just from my point of view, if I go back to like the Crowism, they lied about, the moon landing. I mean, everything has been a lie, my entire life. I mean, I'm 50 years old, so my entire life has been a lie.
Yeah. We have to go on our firsthand observation and the firsthand observations of those that we truly know and trust, and use our discernment about the sources that we look at, and also understand that when we are gathering information from all these sorts of places, not everybody is going to be right about everything all the time. People admit that they make mistakes, including myself, all the time. So we just have to keep talking to each other, and that's what I think the value is in all of us starting our own channels and coming together and sharing our firsthand experiences. I mean, if there's anybody else out there that knows anything about North Korea or has something to add, we're all going to learn more. But we're not going to get it from television or a Hollywood movie. Like that Interview movie, people are repeating all this stuff from the movie called The Interview. And a lot of the stuff in that movie they just made up for comedy and embellished stuff, but people are like, "Oh, they were just they were being funny to expose the truth." But who knows if they were exposing truth about anything?
Well, I see these channels, honestly. Oh, go ahead, caller. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it makes you pause and or hopefully be discerning and realize that probably. Never mind, I lost my train of thought. You go ahead.
That happens too.
It happens to all of us all the time.
Here's the wonderful things about these channels, okay? 2 things. Maybe we learn something, because I do usually almost on every stream. And if we don't, they've taken away all of our hangouts. They've made it so we can't get together. So, okay, they want us to use this B system, so we're using it. I've been on some streams where there was probably no information whatsoever. I've never laughed so hard on some of these last streams than I have on some of these shows. And we need that release because I'm blessed. And I mean, we're all blessed, but I'm blessed in a way, and like Rose is too, that we have a partner that we can talk to and they're on board. You know, there's people that don't have it. They have no family members, nobody around them that they can sit and hang out like this and talk to. And it can get very frustrating, very depressing, and very lonely. And when they can turn on a TV or a YouTube for as long as this is going to be up and get together with like-minded people, that's a wonderful thing. And part of these shows, sometimes, I mean, that's what my videos I try to do. You can get fear on a lot of channels, but you get a lot of information from them. But at some point, it gets a bit overwhelming. So I try to add funniness in my stuff, and I like to go on streams and just do stupid, goofy things.
Totally. It's so important to have a good time. But I have to address this very serious comment here. If everything you knew was just a lie, should you then make your own truth? I have to say firmly no. Truth is objective. Right. All right. There either is or there isn't something. All right. Now, just because we find that we are being lied to about everything, that we were born into a system of lies, that we were born into an artificial construct, just because that wasn't our fault and we didn't ask for that, doesn't mean that the onus isn't on us to figure it out. Because without the knowledge of what is truly our reality as it is, then we can't make good decisions in our life. And we're just basically freaking cattle, bred cattle. We have to be able to use our divine ability to discern and make moral decisions. Our human behavior is important. Just like people have said, like with a cat or a dog, when they bring in like a rabbit in their mouth, I mean, they don't know that someone else has a different opinion. Like there's no opinions about it. They're just doing what they do. But we're not like that. What do you think about that, Jay Armstrong?
Well, I mean, if that going on the premise that everything is a lie and that you can't believe anything, I agree with you. That is an unacceptable way to be as well, because that's just an excuse. You're like, well, they lied to me about everything, so I'm just gonna give up and be, sit here in isolation and stupidity.
That's what they want. They want us to be confused and fall into solipsism. And solipsism is like a new age bullshit kind of a way to mislead people so that they just get stuck in the abstract. And they're just like, I'm just going to meditate my way out of slavery. But we can know the truth, but it's hard work.
And there's a channel I listen to, if you've ever heard, called Rose777, and he says a lot of times, he says hint, hint, hint a lot, but he also says there's no lie in nature. And there's people that argue that point too. But I like that idea, because there really isn't. Water seeks its own level. We know things are going to grow in certain times and certain temperatures. I mean, there's a lot of truth to be found in nature. So not everything in the world or the earth is a lie. Everything that we've been told about the world, that seems to be a lie. But there is truth out there, and it doesn't matter what you believe. Truth is just truth. It doesn't matter if I believe in it or not. It's it. So what we have to do is peel back the veil, pull back the curtain of the Wizard of Oz, and discover the truth. We're not making our own. We're just seeing the real truth that was there, because we had our best friend round his arm around us, just feeding us nothing but lies. And then we broke free and we went, holy shit, he lied about everything. Doesn't mean the world's a lie or the earth. It means what he said was a lie. So that's what we need to do. Not make truth up, discover the real truth. Boom.
And I think a lot of the people that are involved in all the propaganda, all the lying, they couldn't possibly know that they were really involved in perpetrating this fraud on everyone, because we're not capable of keeping secrets, to be honest. As human beings, it's not a possibility. It's like a giant game of that operator or something, where I whisper something in your ear and then it gets kind of distorted, and then And then also people feel the need to like have someone, oh, I have to be able to trust someone. Well, no, you don't. You gotta dig deep inside yourself and figure out, does that resonate with me and feel right and feel true?
Mm-hmm. Discernment, that's the word everyone keeps throwing out. Absolutely.
I love it. All
Y'all
right.
were awesome. Fantastic to talk to you, and I will
It was fun talking to you.
listen the next this evening with Gravy Jesus, right?
Right, you guys. Yeah. So that's why I kind of want to wrap it up soon, is because I want to hang out with Jason before he has to do his live stream. But this is so much fun, and I'm so glad you called. And I do feel like I want to take just one more. And then, like, no matter what, when my clock says that it's been an hour and a half, I'm just going to, like, got to end it.
No
All
worries.
right.
I'm
So
thrilled.
let's try and take one more call. Let's take a 10-minute call, or if someone wants to be nice, call in, and we'll do 5 minutes. We'll see how much we can get in for 10 minutes. But anyway, Jay Armstrong, I guess I will see you in chat in less than 2 hours.
Absolutely.
All right.
Talk to y'all soon.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so if anyone else wants to call, I'm going to put the number up. We only have 10 minutes because I have to have some self-control.
And I think I'm going to see if I can do, I can put my link. I think that's my link. Let's see.
I had your link up, and then I used the same tab to find Trey. Yeah, let me find you again.
I think I got it. No, I got it. There it is.
I've
All
got
right.
it
Give
too.
us a ring dong dutchie.
Yeah. We have to come up with our own thing.
Oh, you're right. Huh.
It'll come. All right. 985-401-1195. We're going to take calls for 10 more minutes.
And I'll put on my smartest
Anyone out there?
with my pipe.
There's a little bit of a lag, so let's hope that someone wants to call and that someone is anxiously trying to call by now. What's up, Singeman, Zal?
Yeah, Singe Man. call in.
Martin. Hello, Martin. Good to see you. All right. 985-401-1195. Maybe we should wrap it up early.
Too nervous. Yeah, I was nervous when I first called in. There's no. Did you see? We cut off a caller once, and on my show I let Mark take over. So we don't know what we're doing. That's part of the fun of it. You know, I used to say this since, well, if someone's going to call in, please call in. I used to say this to my wife. We'd watch our TV, and instead of no longer watching regular news, you know, people like say we watch Brian, and he's like, hey, I got to take 10 minutes and walk my dog, you know? And I was like, that's the coolest thing. Can you imagine if, like, Tom Brokaw was on the news? He's like, hang on, I got to take a smoke break, you know, and he walks off the set for 5 minutes. I love our stuff. It's really fun. And am I a flat earther? Well, I am a doctor. I'm not. I'm a fake doctor. But I do have, where is it? Does that tell you? So, yeah. So, but yeah.
I love that.
fact,
Realize.
I blame Karen for that. Karen's the one that messed me up in the head and made me an FE. I've told her that many times. So, no one's
Okay,
called
but Sue, you could call, but just speak in code. Okay, like pretend that you're talking about your cat. Seriously, just say, oh my gosh, Rose needs to tell me about her cat, and we'll just talk about my cat. Like, just so that we could share energy and be together for like a minute. Don't you think that would be nice if we could just talk about something together? We don't have to talk about truth. Let's try to pretend like we're normal. Hold on, wait, I just realized my camera's off. Normal, but really we are normal, and they're crazy, but we're gonna act like their version of normal, which is crazy.
Right? And you know what's fascinating? I talked about this. Somebody could put on an outfit like this and get a little stupid MD thing and then go on Good Morning America and they can tell you all these great things and it's funny because doctors and nurses always seem to walk around with these things like they're always attached. And they go on TV and they can tell all kinds of things. And anybody in my family or your family, whatever, can go, wow, we better do what that guy says. And then I go, hey, I've been reading up on it and I look like I do and whatever. And I know you and I've like been around you and love you my whole life and done nothing but want you the best for you. And here's what I think's going on. And they won't listen to me because I don't know anything. And yet they never looked into the guy that's on television. Does he have a degree? Is he a real doctor? Was he a good student? What did he study? You know, it's like, but they don't ask that question and they never look into it. But then if we go on these channels and say, hey, we've discovered stuff, we're a bunch of crazy people. That's my theory. and I am a fake doctor.
And I like how you're a retro fake doctor because you have the tobacco pipe.
Right?
It's kind of weird to me though because you've got the pipe, which is very 50s, 40s maybe, but then you've got the earbuds.
Well, you know, I'm an enigma, wrapped within an enigma.
A mystery wrapped, an enigma wrapped in a mystery, a mystery wrapped in an
that's
enigma.
it. Yeah, you
Also,
got it.
your bandana is unsanitary. I
know,
don't
right?
think you can have that in the operating room.
Oh,
Okay.
But I will
I
put
can't
my
believe
mask
nobody's
on.
calling in.
I know. It's Rose and me. Come on. At least if it Rose.
Yeah,
like I could
5
turn my
more minutes.
camera off. I could be scaring people. How about this? Is that better?
Give it up, but don't be scared.
Come on.
You better call in or else we're going to start rapping.
Singe Man, call in. We were talking already. He was having a rough day or morning or something. We're all here for everyone, man. It's like I understand how this all works now, and it's science. Negative energy attracts negative, and positive attracts positive. So, am I happy all the time? Hell no. I have the same issues as everyone else, but I try to put everything in a positive spin. I had a situation yesterday that could have been super negative, and so what did I do? I took a walk with my dogs and walked around his property, talked to God. He straightened my head out. I came back and had a great time last night. It's just the way you look at life. It's going to throw shit at you. It's always thrown shit at you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to fall down and just lay in it? Are you going to get up, wipe yourself off and say, I'm not taking that, and then move on? You're going to keep getting it. You're going to keep falling down. But it's up to us to stay positive. In my spiritual path, that's how I do it. I mean, you know, Rose, my goodness, you've been through more struggles than I've ever seen. So, but we all have our own different ones. But you have the most amazing. You like shine. It's fascinating. I honestly didn't even know that you had a chariot until I don't even know how long. We used to listen to you and talk, and had no idea. I mean, until you said something, we had no idea. You there?
Yeah, I do. Did I ever tell you anybody? Okay, I'll tell this story before the phones are still on, but I'll say why when I was paralyzed, I felt like I won the lottery. Do you know that story?
No.
Okay, so my dad, my awesome dad, and his best friend Craig, and all of their best friends in from high school, when they were 19, they went down to Mexico to ride motorcycles. We got a call now.
Well, promise we'll have another show. And
No, I'll finish the story before I end it. Let's just answer the phone. Hello, you've reached Rose777 and the Ceiling Fan Man. With whom are we speaking with?
Hello, you're on with Singe Man.
Hey, there it is.
You.
Singe Man, what's up?
Hey, brother.
Hanging in there. Kind of glad that my car broke down 3 or 4 months ago.
What happened 3 or 4 months ago? You're gonna have to speak up a tiny bit.
My car broke down. Oh, hold on.
Ah, shoot.
Is that better?
Yeah, a little better.
A little bit. The more you yell, the better. But car problems are just terrible. It's just in one instant, it's just your whole world falls apart, and you just want to have a good relationship with your car, and it's there for you, and then it's not. I'm so sorry. What happened?
And I've had crappy cars all my life, right? It's like the worst.
Right.
And I always kept them running, and they never had problems. I mean, they had problems, but nothing major. So I bought a really nice car for $5,000, and my motor blew up. Which never happened. I mean, I went across the country in a 1966 Falcon, Ford Falcon, and I would just stop and put water in the radiator, and I'm going to just keep on putting water in the radiator. This was the nicest car I ever had, and motor blew up. But I'm glad because it made me stuck on this hill, so I didn't have to experience masked people. Yeah. Although I've had even up. Hold on. So even up on this hill that I've experienced it, people visiting our house, etc., family members, etc. And then yesterday, I was trying to convince people about mask's not working.
About
And I
what
got
not
attacked
working?
twice.
Oh, mask's
trying
not
to
working,
visit my
obviously.
family. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so your
yeah.
family's not buying it?
No, I was trying to convince about the mask, and my sister and my nephew both physically attacked me. It was weird.
Oh my gosh.
I've never attacked anybody, first of all, and I definitely wouldn't attack somebody over words.
People
So,
got
it was
physically
really weird.
violent
Yeah.
with you over a conversation about masks.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to him
Yeah.
this morning about.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, you're not the first person that's talked about it. I remember someone calling. I think it might have even been Squeeze that he got an altercation too. And like my brother's not talking to me, and I was sending him a bunch of truth videos, and he finally just wrote back, "Stop sending me videos." So, but the way I am, so I took a video of my chickens and sent it to him. So it's kind of like saying, "Screw you, I'm going to send you videos," but then it was just of chickens. And then I wrote back, "How about chickens?" And then he laughed and he said, "Sure." So I've kept the open communication, although that's about it. He's more like an acquaintance now than my really dear close brother that's only like a couple years older than me. So it's really sad, but you know, it is what it is. I'll continue to chip away as gently as possible. But I know right now, if I sent him any other truth or video, I probably wouldn't have any more contact with him. So, and I'm not saying, and I know none of this was your fault. Well, I don't know that, but you know, trying to wake people up, it's a hard thing. It's a tightrope walk, and the information you had triggered them. I have many sons between. It's a blended family, and I have some that are not even close to being on board to anything I do, and they'll be triggered and just storm away and won't listen. So it's a struggle for even me. I just feel that I've reached a few people because I know this. They've reached out to me and told me. Complete strangers.
It reminds me of the Mandela effect download, but really violent download.
Yes, it is. This one's worse. You're right.
Right. Yeah, it's an automatic response.
And I've seen the Mandela effect download right in front of my eyes. I had some family members. I told them about the Wizard of Oz, and they came to watch it, and then they're like, "Huh, I never noticed that." I guess like right in front of me.
Hold on a second. Sinj, you can't hear him when he's trying to talk because he's so low. What were you trying to say, Sinj?
Oh, sorry.
I forget. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on a second.
It's because then when I'm listening to both of you at the same time, I can't hear either of you. So what were you saying, man? Someone say what they were saying because you're both talking at once.
I'm sorry. I do that. It's hard on these shows with the delay and everything. But yeah, so
it's hard. We're gonna have to get used to that.
Right? It's just the nice thing again about these shows, because again, I believe in frequency wave manipulation and stuff. Because there's days that my wife and I've woken up and for no reason we're all just angry, irritable. And other days we wake up and their stomach doesn't feel good together. And other days we're just in a really crazy, giddy mood. So, you know, we all feel it. And the fact that, again, there's some people that are alone. They can't talk to their family members. They can't talk to their neighbors, whatever. They're by themselves. And when they go on these shows, and maybe they woke up that morning and they were just pissed off at the world and didn't know why. And then when you hear about 10, 20 other people all over the country and all over the world or globe or earth, all having the same experience, you realize, shit, I'm not alone. There's some consciousness.
Exactly. Every house is having that.
Right? We're all feeling it. So it's a good way to know, keep grounded when we can't talk to our own family.
Hold on, you guys, they have an emergency here. Hold on. Actually, you know what, Sinj, I'm going to hang out because I have to mute myself for a second.
Okay.
But thank you so much for calling. It's so great to finally talk to you.
Yes, nice to talk to you.
Yeah, really nice to meet you, man. I'm so glad you called and you made it just in time. So I'll talk to you soon again. I'll see you in chats.
One more thing, Rose.
Yeah.
Are we done?
One more thing is the Illuminati card upheaval. Worldwide riots continue for the 30th week with no sign of abatement.
Wow.
There you go.
But see, that's what they want us to do, so let's try to not have it happen. because we can
Exactly.
change
All
it.
right.
Let's see. Yes.
All right, guys.
Here's another
All
one.
right. Actually, and I'm not going to end it yet. Ceiling, I want you to. All right. Nice to talk to you, Singe Man. Thank you so much. All right, I'm closing that out. All right, Ceiling Fan, I just have to help Crow with something for a second. So will you say hi to the chat for a second? Emergency?
Oh, okay. All right.
Talk to the chat just a second.
Let's go back on here. All right, here we go. All right, so who do we have? Israel Adams, good to see you. Sue Finelli, EM. That's so funny. I've never done this. Okay, Voynich, J. Armstrong, PG 2024. Nachitek. I always mess this up. Nachiketa, good to see you in the chat. What else we got here? Singe Man, of course. Did I get everyone? Let's see. Kevin Sunham. How am I going to ever say that? Nemo, Nemo 289V. That one's pretty trippy. Nice. Okay, so what do you got here? EM. Rasta is in the house. No freaking way. Awesome. I love listening to Rasta Radio. My wife turned it on to me. It's our own little DJ that we have in the community. There's so much talent in this community. I just love it. What else we got here? Did I get everyone? Wordsmith for a year. That's a cool avatar. Don't know what that is. Zalmoxis, I think he said. Martin Ellen's here. Sweet. Of course, that could be going so far back. These people have left. I have no idea how many people are here. But Bolt Gun is back. Great. Should never have left, but okay. What else we got? Finish the story. Shoot. Anybody got any idea what story I was telling? Or was it Rose's story? Rose had a story. So we got to do that. Unless I have a story. I got all kinds of stories. Anybody in the chat want anything in particular? I'm not going to sing or dance, but I can come up with some thoughts or something. I can show you some of my weird, cool shit that I have. Like, this is a coin from the Seattle World's Fair in 1962. And just to let you know that these idiots have always run us. Nothing to see here but like a pyramid. Hopefully that'll focus soon. Right? They've always done it. Oh, and I did show it on another show back before I, whatever this is, got enlightened, started awakening. I thought I was doing the right thing, and yes, I did donate money to help build the third temple, which is one of the things they say potentially if you believe in the, what is it? Not apocalypse, Armageddon. Supposedly that's one of the signs. So yeah, you're welcome. I just have random stuff. When I go on Gypsy Show, I always have like different things. We always play with toys and different like stuff that we have. Like every once in a while, I'll have my little moon guy just kind of show up, makes him laugh. But and then I have like things that have like residue, like Forrest Gump, where says the line that he doesn't say, of course, which completely makes sense. Oh, this was a good one. I just found this one. I know, boys and their toys. Yeah. So I found this guy, but the cool thing about it, he was still in his packaging. And check that out. What color legs are those? Huh? Hello, it's Mark from Sister Failure. Hello. Do you guys know he took over my show? Well, he didn't take it over. I gave it to him. I did one of my, that's why I don't live stream much. I did a live stream and I was blessed enough to get a lot of talented people there. And Mark was there. And I said goodnight to everyone. I closed it off and I didn't turn off the TV or the cameras. And then I went downstairs and was talking to my wife. And suddenly I hear Mark's voice up in my loft going, hello, you've left your thing on. I've taken over your show. And that's not what you want. So anyways, the Oz story. All right, let me think about this. The Wizard of Oz. I'm trying to get there, Singe Man. I'm just like, I'm not quite sure. I have a golden ticket. Okay, where are we? Yes, I had tarot card readings. In fact, I even had my own tarot cards, and so did my wife for a long time. And there's something to those things. But now that I realize that it's basically working with dark magic, I had a burning ceremony, so they're all gone. I find it interesting. Again, use your discernment, but the things that I listened to in the Bible one of the things he talks about is you definitely don't want to mess with that kind of dark stuff. So I don't have a problem with crystals and stuff, because again, that's God's. He made crystals. That's the same thing with weed and all that stuff. So if it's come naturally, then there's probably healing properties to it. This cool rock got broken by my tractor, and there's like all kinds of cool geodes and stuff. So it's like I'm fascinated with that kind of stuff, but no tarot cards. What do we got? Okay. Family Oz, Live Wizard of Oz Mandela. Am I having like a Mandela? Did I talk about the Wizard of Oz in my family? Yikes. All right. I'll try to think of that one. But Wizard of Oz. Oh, I'm with you. Okay. So they came over and we were discussing the Wizard of Oz. And I said, did you know that they had these changes with the gun and all that? And they didn't believe me. And so we decided to sit down and watch the movie. I think it was like I don't know what holiday it was. And we watched the movie, and I was all ready for that scene when my name's Richard. So I was ready for that scene when they, they have the gun and the pipe wrench and all that. And I was like waiting for them to just lose their shit, going, whoa, I had no idea Mandela effect's real. And they both just went, huh, that's funny. I just never noticed that before. How weird. And I was like, download. And I just lost all of my, like, whoa, my God, that was the first time I'd actually seen the instant download. So there. And what else? And I believe in astrology because, again, anything that they try to get us to not look at, there's a reason. And my wife has always been into it because certain signs, I mean, she can tell you who a person is before she meets them just by their interactions with her. She knows their sign. And so they try to make it all hocusy pocus and hippy dippy with, astrology being in the newspaper next to Ann Landers, who didn't even exist. And but there's something to it because there really is something to people and their star signs. But it's not, again, what they told us it is. So what we got? Freudian slip inside of Mandela while getting a deja vu. Well, I like that one. I'd highlight that, but it's not my show. Where are we at? Illuminati card dictators. Yeah, and again, Cinchman, the whole Illuminati card, they are predictably programming this is what they want. The computers are running it, and they expect this, that, and the other. So that's what's happening right now. It's like if you've ever gone fishing and you throw the line out, but then you kind of pull in the slack until you feel a little pressure. Well, that's what happened. They started rolling out all this stuff, and I think they were even surprised at how easily we all rolled over. And so they're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they feel a pushback. And then if they get to the breaking point where everyone gets super angry, that's where you get, the predictive programming of what they do, the purge and all that. So we're all going to uprise and death and destruction. But again, if that does happen, it's because we allowed it and we went along with their story, and we're going to do it to ourselves. Because once again, I can keep looking throughout history. I'm not finding anywhere where they actually spent any money to do any of these horrible things that they do to us. They either make money or they barely spend any. I mean, they brought down the entire world economy so far, and they didn't fire a shot. And it didn't cost them anything because they already had the televised vision. All they did was just put numbers on the televised vision, and the whole world shut down. So no, they're really cheap. And I used to be part of.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
I think we did okay. So where are we at? I think I answered everyone.
Okay, I just wanted to remind everyone that at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern is the Crow 777 live stream on the Secrets of Saturn channel, which is in a little bit over an hour, and I hope everyone goes there. I'm just going to put the link in here too. And then even though I really have to go, as promised, I'll just finish my story. Yes. Yeah. My story about Craig and my dad and all the motorcycles. There's a link to the live stream. So my dad and his best friend and a bunch of other friends from their high school were riding motorcycles in Mexico, and it was Craig's 19th birthday. Okay. And he got hit on his motorcycle, flew off the motorcycle, and was paralyzed from the neck down, like Christopher Reeves, like really bad. Needed to, and this was in the 70s, guys, when just things were way different, like looking at the machinery used to put them back together, and like the weird, uncomfortable, even though you couldn't feel it, uncomfortable metal chairs and like ugly pillows under it. Just, it was probably such a nightmare, especially that happening in another country. But anyway, neck down, so we needed someone with him to help him with everything, even eating. And so I would like sit there so I was always sitting on his lap when I was a kid on his electric wheelchair, and he would go up and down the street. I just loved Craig, and he'd always say, I always feel happy as long as my face is in the sun. And I just thought that was so smart and so true. And I tested that and verified it. And he was always had a great attitude. And I was always really, really close to Craig. And he had this house with a pool. Like anytime he could roll himself into that pool, kill himself. He had all these statues of boobs, like women with boobs, couldn't touch the statue boobs. He had all these guns on the wall, couldn't use them if he needed to. All this stuff. I remember when I was 5, I ran into his bathroom and I saw the shower chair with the hole in the seat, and I'm like, oh my God, why is there a hole there? Why? That just totally scared me. I thought it was like a torture chair. It was just a freaking shower chair. I was like, oh, so weird. But Craig was the coolest guy ever. He passed away in 2009. But anyway, when I had my stroke in 2005, and I was the same age as Craig. I was 19 too, about to turn 20. And I like the whole thing happened so fast, and like all of a sudden it was kind of like, all right, it wasn't a car crash. It was just like, oh, your vitals are normal. We don't know why you're paralyzed, but you should probably learn how to be in a wheelchair. But I like looked at my hands and I opened them and closed them and opened. Hold on. I did this. I'm going to be able to do whatever I want. Look, can you imagine not being able to do that? It's crazy. So it was a blessing because I was instantly like, I'm going to be able to do all those things. Drive.
You saw someone that was worse
live
off.
alone. Hate people, live alone. What?
You saw someone that was worse off, and it gave you a grounding as to count your blessings, basically, right?
And also, I've seen a bunch of bummers in the world, just people that are just like, And Craig, I always wanted to hang out with him because he was in a good mood and he was fun to be around, could joke around, make jokes, not feel bad about it. Just like, so, I mean, I
you look like
brainwashed, and I was like, I got to be like Craig, like, because I want to be fun to hang out with too.
Yeah, there's a presence that just comes off you, and that's why you're so amazing. I mean, anybody in the chat, she's an incredible researcher. I still haven't done this video yet, Rose. Is that I'm working on one that deals with Crow, and I called her, I emailed her and said, hey, is there any time that he talked about this thing? And 5 minutes, I think it was 7 actually. Not only did she have the shows, but she had links and she even had the transcript. Like, I don't even know how you do it. But in addition to that, man, we've watched you just turn into like you just shot past me. I felt like I'm kind of the B crew, or maybe the C crew, the ceiling fan crew. But like, and then you showed up and like, zoom, you just shot like a rocket. And your shows are so fun and fascinating. And you get great guests, but you're also fun to hang out with. And one last thing, because I know you want to go, just to synchronicities. One of the books that I picked up on my own as a kid and on a shelf, I don't even know why, and it's called Joni, and I don't even know if the story's true anymore because they're all fake. And it's about this gal who she was, I think, hiking and fell off a mountain and became a quad and ended up doing paintings with her mouth. And I read this whole book of all the struggles she went through in the hospital and all this stuff. And I don't know. that means nothing other than the fact that I've never been in this situation, but my grandfather was, and I read this book. So I feel like I have some understanding, but the passion you bring to everything you do shows, and I'm so thankful you let me on. So,
thank you, Ceiling Fan Man. Everything you just said was really kind, and that is what I want. I want to give, hold on. I want to give you positive energy. I want everyone to take it.
Carol, do the healing.
Take it against your will. Have it. I gotta go. I gotta go so bad. I gotta go like 50 minutes ago. Hey. Oh, I thought you were kidding yourself. I'm like, no, you shouldn't have been paying attention to Bob Flanagan. Don't hurt yourself.
No, it's a healing tone. I've been checking into tuning forks because if it's all about vibrations, man, let's change the vibration.
Yeah, let's raise the vibration, but not in the hippie new agey way, but in let's just be positive.
But what is the hippie new age? Realities. New age is actually teachings of old stuff. They just once again stole it and turned it something bad. Like
and they're taking out the element, the mask. They're emasculating humanity because they're not putting in the action.
Yep.
It's all they're trying to keep everyone in the emotional, like, ooh, everything's fine, but it's not okay because you have to see the injustice in the world and correct it. That is the true way of being Zen, is to try and like end suffering. Like, how can people exist with suffering around them? I don't know. Right. There was a family, and first of all, the post started with like, we have to like find a new home for our declawed cat. And I was like, just knowing the cat had been declawed, I'm like, I gotta love that cat for the rest of its life and apologize to it every day for what they did to it. It's amputating fingers, basically, is what declawing cats is. So anyway, that's the last thing I will say is that I can't. So anyway, Jason went and got the cat, and then the first night the cat's in the house, we flooded. Poor cat.
Oh, that's the what? This just happened? Because I saw the flooding.
Yeah, Jason went to go rescue a cat, and the first night back, we're just like, oh, you're gonna love our new home. You're gonna be amazed at how much we provide for you. And then the floor becomes water, which cats don't like. But yeah, now we have 5 cats because Jason's a good man. He went and got the cat.
I got worried for you that night. Everything was all flooding. I'm like, oh my God, Jeannie, what do we do? She's like flooded out. She's like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I knew that I was talking. And so I got on the phone with the Great Baldini because I didn't want to stress out Jason. And then just to like, I asked Jason, like, what, like I talked to him, and then his response was, I have to think. And I thought, oh my God, he's never said that in his life yet. He was really trying to think. And he ended up calling the emergency Don't laugh. I'm just kidding. You can laugh. He called emergency services, and I wasn't there at that moment, but I really wonder what words he used. Like, yeah, my girlfriend can't walk, and I think we need a canoe.
No, but it's like when I was laughing.
There was a lot of people that needed to get evacuated and rescued, and they had even more water. We were lucky. The new house across the same neighborhood is like the highest part of the neighborhood. And we were even thinking about high ground. I was mad because of the driveway is a little bit steep, but I'm like, I wish things could be perfect. Well, thank goodness for the steep driveway, right? And the hilly backyard and the forest in the back that will suck up the water. And we didn't even think about that. Louisiana, California girl in Louisiana, I did it.
That's the thing. What I've been doing is part of my spiritual path was I used to have things that were coincidences and lucky and all that stuff. And then I took and I just inserted the word blessing.
I have to go.
Okay. Whenever something is lucky or something like that, say the word, wow, that's a blessing, and literally count your blessings. You'll realize how many times in a day you'll say it, even in bad situations. I love you so much. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everyone. So.
Love you too. Love you all. And I'll see you at the Secrets of Saturn channel in about an hour. Bye-bye.
Bye.